Hello.
Hi everyone. Hi daddies, mommies, boys, girls, friends, enemies. Oh no, families. Hi everyone. This is Mommy J.
I'm Victor.
And I'm Little.
Welcome to our channel, RWJ, Reading with Joan. And today is your favorite show, The Cow Chat. And we've had a very long topic we've been doing for months now. It has a lot of branches, and we're so glad that we went into it because it's taught us so much about our relationships and it's taught you about relationships too. What has the topic we've been doing?
Virtue.
The topic virtue. So we've been discussing virtue, and once again, we are here to talk about virtue. And what is virtue to you? What is virtue to us? You can go and check our YouTube channel for all the past events. You can visit our YouTube channel and just find out what we've discussed so far about virtue. But today we are going to continue about to talk about another virtue, and the virtue we're talking about. Before we get there, let's just give you a little bit of snippet with what we've been doing so far. So we have, these are the various virtues. You can see the trees, and we've been treating it for months and months and months. So we've gone through the virtue of moral personhood to the virtue of moral action. Now we're in the virtue of moral relationships, and today we are on the last branch, and it is the virtue of
Love.
So we're in the virtue of love. So love is a very interesting, but when you look at the word love, seems like the easiest thing to say or to do, or when you're talking in relationships, it seems that everybody talks about love. And the question I ask myself, do we really understand what love is? So we're going to go into the nitty gritty to see what is love. Is love is love sex? Is love war? I shouldn't mention sex. They said I shouldn't mention sex. Oh my god! Oh, I know they talk about this in schools. So we talk about that, and we are going to just quickly get on the show. So, in terms of love, we said we're going to discuss what love is, and there are 5 branches we're going to discuss. Big J, can you read that to us?
Altruism, generosity, mercy, forgiveness, and compassion.
So, great. So, you have those 5 branches.
We already did generosity.
So those are the 5, and we're going to go to the first one. So what are the similar words that relate to altruism?
Selflessness, self-sacrifice, and self-denial.
So everything is about leaving yourself out first and doing it to others. Now, the reason why I brought up the issue of sex, I need to clarify, is at the end of love, we'll actually see if sex is equal to love. We want to find out so that you would know, is sex equal to love? Because if it's selflessness and the other person is not ready or doesn't want it, is that love?
Yeah.
So we that's why it has to come from what is real love. It's different from the action and all that. So it's the principle of
Consideration.
So let's quickly look at the definition. Big J, take the first one.
Altruism refers to behavior that benefits another individual at a cost to oneself. For example, giving your lunch away is altruistic because it helps someone who is hungry, but at the cost of being hungry yourself.
Ooh, so that's selflessness. That's self-denial. You deny yourself. And okay, thank you for that. It could also mean, if you read another one, it could also mean when we act to promote oneself's welfare, someone else's welfare, even at the risk that it costs ourselves. So it's similar to that. You promote somebody else and you lose out of it. It's a principle of moral practice of concern for the happiness of other human beings and other animals, resulting in the quality of life of both material and spiritual.
But that's
It is the traditional virtue in many culture and a core aspect of various religious and secular worldview.
Secular is not religious at all. So
Yeah,
yes.
so anybody can believe in the virtue of altruism. So Big Jerry, the last one.
Altruism is the
Unselfish.
unselfish concern for other people. Doing things simply out of a desire to help, not because you feel obligated to out of duty, loyalty, or religious reasons. It involves acting out of concern for the well-being of other people.
Interesting. If we pick the words that are there, number one, out of a desire to help. So it is your desire. It's not dependent on any religious view, or it's not dependent, or you are not first to do it. Uh, Sometimes you're obligated to do it, but in the real sense of it, and it involves acting out of a concern for the well-being of others. So let's see what it is when it comes to practical action. So that's another definition. These are the words that are synonym to altruism. We have donating, charity, help, social, charitable, volunteering, humanitarian. So the whole organization that we have is all about altruism because we are a social enterprise that are supporting kids to read well and to enjoy literacy and to be culturally aware, which would invariably support these communities to have better social inclusion. Right? And that's what we are trying to do. We go out of our way every Wednesday and every Saturday to discuss this. Right. Okay, so what are the characteristics of it? So little J, big J,
You put others first.
put others first. You think about how your actions will affect others. So little J, you're silent. How is it affecting us? You think
Awkward.
about it.
Whenever
Exactly.
we ask you to
So
do something,
you,
it's just like,
yeah, if you think about it before you start it. So you feel good after helping someone. How does it affect you when you finally talk? How does it make you feel? It makes you feel good. It makes you feel upset. It makes you feel good. Doesn't make you feel good. Doesn't make you. Just make you. Just make you. Just make you shake your head. Okay, Big J.
You're proactive and you possess a healthy level of self-confidence.
So it helps you to be proactive because somebody that is volunteering won't sit in the house. You're always doing something, and it gives you a level of confidence. So let's see that diagram. So I receive a favor from you. I notice the favor. I feel happiness. So if I receive a favor from Jamie, I notice the favor and I feel happy. So we are going into the 2 arrow. If you don't feel obliged to do the favor, or if you feel obliged, so we take if you feel. So if you feel obliged to do the favor, you like to do the favor to someone, you reciprocate to them back. You like me, there is a positive reinforcement. You are likely to do more favors in the future. So if you're altruistic to someone and the person does it back, it's possible that it is going to roll on a ripple effect. So when you talk about the random act of kindness, if you're kind to someone, it ends up somebody else being kind and they end up being kind to somebody. But not in all cases. That's why there is also the opposite side. So it's not everybody that you're kind to that will be kind to someone. So it says I don't feel like doing it. So there's no reciprocation of what I've done. You notice cheating and all that. I don't like me. So it just goes down to say somebody that is not obliged, doesn't have that feeling, is not proactive to be kind or to do something. There's nothing you can make them do. And that's why when you see people that are kind, they're always kind. If you see people that are unkind, no matter what you do for them, they remain unkind. Okay, so don't get surprised or don't get upset when people don't reciprocate your actions towards them. It's just because some people are not like that. Maybe it's genetic. Let's find out. So more research has been done that practicing this helps your well-being. Can we read those 5 boxes? I'll start with the first one. Autism makes us happy. Giving to others makes people feel happier than spending money on themselves. What's the next one? Next one, Jeremy.
Altruism is good for our health. People who volunteer tend to experience fewer aches and pains and less depression.
Good. It helps your health. Okay, it's also good for our love life. Kindness is the single universal requirement for a mate across all culture and has more sex. You see, I didn't say, just said it. So being kind to others leads to that, but that's not the real thing.
They seem so unrelated though.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought that those are good.
Let me give in a marriage relationship, if you are kind to your partner and you go out of your way to support your partner, wouldn't it proactively bring up more sexual activity? It would. All right, so the next one is it fights addiction. Wow, that's interesting. I never know. Addicts who help others, even in small ways, can improve their chances of staying sober and avoiding relapse. That's interesting. Okay, Big J.
Altruism promotes social connections. When we give to others, they feel closer to us and we also feel closer to them.
So it helps social connection. All right, so it's also contagious. That's what we said in that yellow diagram. So it can be contagious when you do it, somebody else does it, and it just replicates in the community. So why are some people more prone to do that? Big J, please, can you read that?
A recent study conducted at Georgetown University says people who demonstrate strong altruism actually have a more active and sometimes larger right amygdala, which is a part of the brain essential to our feeling and perceiving emotions, especially fear.
So it means that those that are more proactive to it, they have a bigger side, and those that are not have a smaller side. Oh, jumper. Sometimes. Okay, continue reading.
This finding hints at a possible link
between altruism
and the neurologically driven capacity to observe fear and empathize with this fear in others.
Okay, so there's a link between it and the ability to empathize with others and the ability to be afraid. Little, whenever you are ready to contribute, just let me know. Okay, so how can I be more altruistic? Am I right to that pronunciation?
I think so.
Yeah. Altruistic. Okay. You spread love, you serve your community volunteering, you reap and enjoy the benefit, you support useless, don't support useless or focus. Oh my God, you support it. Do what you enjoy and excel at it. Use carrots rather than sticks. What I mean is, when somebody does something good, praise them. You know, there are people that no matter how good you do, they don't see anything good in it. So when somebody does good, somebody has this altruistic characteristics, it's important that we say thank you all the time, because it will encourage them to do more. Avoid overconfidence. So how do we promote it? Be a role model, share real stories, promote acceptance, and that is what we do in InfoHubMe. We support the community and get your co-worker involved. Be a role model.
Or friends.
Or friends. Oh yeah. So all right, so there are 4 types. I never knew. This is the first time I'm doing this. Big J, can you mention the 4 types?
Neopatistic altruism, which I think in this picture on the left would be pure altruism.
Good.
Reciprocal altruism, or mutualism. Group-based altruism, and moral altruism.
So.
Oh wait, no. Neopatistic altruism would be genetic, and moral altruism would be pure.
Oh, correct. Thank you for correcting yourself. So, in other words, what do they mean? Let me test you. What do they mean?
Reciprocal is the one that we were reading in that yellow flow chart.
Okay, yeah.
Where it's like, you do something good to me, I do something good to you.
Good.
Keep going.
That's reciprocal. Okay.
And then group-based group selected, a group-based altruism. I think that's just being kind to others.
When people come together to help, charity come together
yeah.
to give, like to come and let's assume Oxfam goes to a place and they go as a group, or people that travel to another country to help for the summer called mission activities or things like that. So that's a group altruism. Okay, what's the next one?
Genetic or neopatistic altruism. I think that's just like what they were.
What is genetic? Which one?
Genetic would be the first one. Nepotistic, not neopatistic.
So it's something that the family does. You know, if you see some family, the whole people in that family are kind. They're just kind to their siblings, kind to their family, kind to people. It's just genetic to them, and just natural. It comes natural to them. But the moral one is it comes suddenly, and you just don't do it. When you see a child fall on the street, you quickly do that. Or when you see somebody begging, little J is prone to say, "Can we give?" Immediately you're walking. So she has that pure thing when she sees somebody in need, it just comes immediately. When you see an old person that can't cross the road, "Oh, can I help you?" It just comes. It's a moral thing that comes instantly in action, and you just do it immediately. All right, so that's good explanation. So I put this picture so we can kind of see whether, okay, that's the one little J does a lot. We can kind of see where we should stop, where you should not stop, because at the end of the day, does it have an effect on the person that is always given? I'm asking a question. Let me go back to the old one. Does it have an effect on the person that's always given?
Yeah, will have a good effect.
A good effect. Are you sure there will be no negative effect on the person?
There will be a negative effect. Like if the other one doesn't accept it, they might feel a bit sad or.
Okay. And when we started the topic, if we go to the slide, when we started this topic, we said has to do with at the expense of yourself. Let's look at that. Cost of you being hungry, cost to ourselves. So there's always something you give up. Unselfish. There's something you give up for another person. Now let me ask you, if you keep giving up and keep giving up and keep giving up, what happens to you after a while?
You don't get back up again.
No, not giving up. When you keep giving kindness.
Oh.
Yeah, what happened after a while?
Just say you'll run out.
You run out, you get tired, you get weary. Remember that that message we listened to when he brought a cup and he was filling the cup, and he says when you serve people, you serve them, after a while you lose your cup because you are not refilled. So sometimes people that are very altruistic, they get weary, they get worn out because they keep giving and they don't get as much most time as much as they give. So I'm going to start with this picture so you understand that even though you can be altruistic, you have to be careful the extent at which you go. So see this woman. You see, she's helping everybody, a family member. Do you see the crack? What is happening to her? She's worn out. She's worn out, but she just keeps going. She just keeps going. So we have to remember, no matter how kind we want to be, we have to remember that we have to refuel too. We have to remember that we need to take care of ourselves. We need sometimes to just say, okay, that's it. I need to treat myself to make myself good. So sometimes, little J, big J, when you come and you come and you come, what do I say? I just say, no, I want to stay. I want to be myself. Leave. Because you can't see any crack. Big J, can you see the crack? Can you see the crack? Can you see the crack on her body, on her skin? Where the mouse, where I'm putting the mouse, can you see? It's like it's breaking up. So she's getting, the weight is getting more and more. So natural one, some people are just natural to it, and others look away, no matter who is. Yeah,
I can't see it.
You can, yeah, no problem. No matter who is around, you just look away. And then this, always remember, people need you. Now, something that happened Friday, Big J got into the car and I wanted to give them a pack of chocolate. I need to use you as an example, sorry. I wanted to give them a pack of chocolate. And then she said, can I take that to someone in school tomorrow? And I'm like, why? She said, I think she's feeling lonely. I said, how do you mean? She said her friends left her and she wanted to just be kind at that moment. That described that picture what you did. Because at that moment she was down, her eyes were bulging, she was weary.
Don't know that.
I didn't say exactly that was, but depicting what is in her mind. One. All right, so let's go and bit of recap to ourselves. What have we learned so far from altruism? What have we learned? What have we taken away?
That we shouldn't just be selfish and no. Okay, that's all I meant to say. When we're giving to others, you shouldn't always just think about what it would do for us, but what it would do for them.
Okay. So what I'm taking away is no matter how much I give, I shouldn't give to the extent that I feel weary. I feel tired. I feel worn out. You see, I need to consider that I don't feel worn out at the same time as I'm helping people. You see, love is vast. I started and I said we are going to talk about love, and we can see that love goes far beyond what we could think. Love is not about ourselves. Love is about the next person. Always remember, love is not about yourself. It's not about what you can get in a relationship. It's not about what you can accrue to yourself. Love is what you can give. And when you're loving, make sure you don't get yourself weary, like the woman that was carrying others on her shoulder. When you're loving, create time for yourself to love yourself too. But don't love yourself at the expense of not loving others. So it's important. And next week, we'll continue on the virtue of love. And I hope you join us as we continue mercy and the rest of the topic. Okay? What were the meaning?
Mercy, forgiveness, and
My
love.
girls. Mercy, forgiveness, and love. Okay. Okay. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.